Welcome to the second seminar of this semester. I will speak about Dr. Parayitam, but I want to tell you the next seminar, which is going to be given by Professor Mary. He's going to talk about root causes and solutions of cultural conflicts in modern societies. He is not going to be able to come here because there are some family issues that he has to deal with, some medical issues. But he is very excited about giving this talk. So we will have that, and I think that the December seminar is going to be given by Carol Tavares, who is sitting right here. She just agreed to give the seminar.
On the subject?
What subject would that be? Something about TM.
Transcendental. Self-realization through transcendental.
Self-realization through transcendental meditation. That's very fascinating thing that I learned 4 years ago, how to do the TM. Before that I had.
When that was January?
It was December 5th. Oh, you gone? You're
December
busy.
5th, before you leave, I need number for Rishi. When you going Ahmedabad,
Okay. So you will miss. We are recording.
I'm leaving on December 6th.
No, this TM here, we have some, I want to really have some.
Idea.
Maybe you should.
There is something that we need to clarify.
Maybe
You can meet
we
with
could
her.
meet another time and talk about
Yeah,
it.
you can. When do you leave on 30th?
Yeah, when I come in.
Okay. Well, there will be more opportunities, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So coming back to today's talk, it's my great pleasure to welcome Professor Satya Parayitam's great friend, and we have worked on a few things together. Actually, even we published something together. Professor Parayitam has a lot of talent, and I didn't know. I thought he was just a business professor. He has a cricket talent. He has put UMass Dartmouth's name up there in the New England area. His team has been winning. He's now stealing students from chemistry department. The students like cricket more than chemistry because of him. Professor Parayitam did his M.Com from University of Delhi, and he taught there also. Which college?
In Hindu College.
Hindu College. And
In Ramjas College.
Ramjas College.
That's it.
So he's covered a lot of Bhagat Singh College, and then he also was in Bhutan. There he taught, and then he came to this country in Oklahoma State University, Stillwater, Oklahoma, where he did his PhD, MS and PhD.
Yep.
And then after that he moved here. And so now he is associate professor, associate professor of management, and he is strategic management.
Strategic management.
And his field is cognitive affective conflicts and personal trust.
Trust.
So the cognitive is psychological related, affective is emotional, and so he's already in the field. And I was really very pleased when I was at UMass Dartmouth to work with him, and we actually have worked on a manuscript that we are going to publish soon about Ayurveda and yoga, and his analysis of that, how that is related to health based on a survey that we conducted. So there's really, he's a great knowledge, and in addition he's a wonderful speaker. Every time when I have a conference, and when he is speaker, most of the time all young people come to his his
My
presentation.
son is very fond of this.
Yeah, there are a lot of kids, are very young people are very fond of him. So actually we should have a separate seminar for young people.
I think generally young generation don't want to listen, but I think he's the exception.
Yeah, he's an exception. So we kind of envy him, but we would like to hear him now, and so please welcome Professor Parayitam. If you need to write something, you can use this.
Yeah.
And
I have some, I think, like this.
well, you can use this.
Okay, those are.
No, you can use on this paper, and they are sticky, so we can move them out and put them on the side.
Yeah, sure. So I think I should do this.
Oh, yes.
thank you very much, Dr. Singh, for your glamorous introduction. So, I'm not that good speaker. I just run short of words sometimes. And, oh,
Is that okay?
we don't need
Light is a
light. Should
A little bit.
we need light.
you need light, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
We
it.
need light.
Otherwise, I don't know who is sleeping, who is not.
We need to see your face too.
Yeah, that's right. So, this is a very complicated and typical topic. My area of research is on cognitive conflict and trust, interpersonal trust. And then at the same time, along with the management, I started working on religion, spirituality and management, relationship between these two on academic platforms. So, studying, various scriptures and epics, and all these are different altogether. Whereas when you try to bring to the academic platform, there should be some basis, for drawing the hypothesis and conclusions, and then doing the testing and all this, So then in those days when I was trying to work on this, I had an opportunity of going through different religions, like the Christianity, and I compared 5 different religions. And interestingly, I found the common threads among all the religions. People, if you go to religious speakers, they take a path. Okay, I am Hindu. Okay, please follow this one. I am Christian. Follow this one. I am Muslim. Follow this path. So they try to find the differences between religions. Whereas academicians, as an academician, I try to find the common threads between religions, and then see where we try to go. And there are some instances, same 10 commandments which are there in Christianity, you can find in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1866, Sarva Dharman Parityajya, Mam Ekam Saranam Vraja, Aham Tva Sarva Papebhyo Mokrishyami Ma Sucha. The same thing, whatever 10 commandments are there, you find there in chapter 1866 sloka of Bhagavad Gita. So there are so many common things. So when we try to bring the academic flavor, what I am trying to today explain, first of all, my knowledge is very limited. And when I got nervous when she said this, she's expert in transcendental meditation. Oh, I got this one construct here we use about transcendence and connectedness, transcendence. These are there. We use the terms, and my knowledge is very, very limited. If I commit any mistakes, please, I'll be excused. Okay. Let me get into this topic. What is spirituality? My outline is basically what is spirituality, what is the difference between religion and spirituality, and then typology of spirituality. So I don't know how many of you are aware of different typologies that exist about the spirituality. Spirituality is the most commonly used, and there are different types of those. What are those? Each one, you say you are spiritual, so you are spiritual. You are on a spiritual plane. On which plane, which part? Which zone you are in? Cell 1, cell 2, cell 3, cell 4. So what each cell represents. So we developed a typology. I explained a little bit about that. And then go to the types of leadership. I don't want to go back to the traditional leadership styles. I just go on to the latest, contemporary leadership styles, transactional and transformational. And then what is the connection between spirituality, religious orientation and leadership? And concluding remarks. Any questions you may have for which I may not have all the answers? Some people say, okay, religion is for the people afraid of going to hell. Spirituality is for the people who have already been there. So some people say, what is religion? What is spirituality? Let me do my work and go. 8 through 5, I am very busy with my office, and why should I bother about this? These are who are afraid of, they will be hell if I don't do this, all this. They think like that, whereas it is not. Now, let me give 2 important quotations. In terms of management, when you see, companies, they try to have sustained competitive advantage. It's like running race. To sustain advantage, leaders need to unleash the human spirit, which makes initiative, creativity and entrepreneurship possible. See, we have to unleash this human spirit. What is that? Something is there inherent in every human being. The hidden talent needs to be tapped. So that is what is the important point here. And when you talk of body, body is the temple of spirit of life. What is temple? Temple represents religion. Spirit of life represents spirituality. So both are inherent. So without spirit of life, the body doesn't have any meaning. For example, God within the temple will not have any meaning if God is not there in the temple. The idol is not there, right? You do not go into the empty church, isn't it so? So, temple representing religion, spirit of life represents spirituality. Then question is why? Why am I interested in studying this one? So, basic question is, what is the influence of, if I have religious orientation, if I go to church every week, if I go to temple every day, or if I go to mosque, I am type 1 leader, let us say. There is another leader who is not bothered about going to church or temple or anywhere. So how he performs, how I perform. Is there any correlation between their religious orientation and the leadership style? So then does it lead to any style, change in the style of leadership? What is the difference in the style of leadership between, if you go to Mahabharata, Krishna is the leader, Duryodhana also is the leader. What is the difference? That is what we will explain. Both are leaders. Duryodhana as leader has got wonderful army, right? Bhishma is there, Drona is there, Aswadhama, all great warriors are there. Great leader Duryodhana. There Krishna is the leader. So what is the difference between these two? It's not the other day in my class of civilization, I was explaining the Mahabharata. There are 5 brothers, 100 brothers. Fight between them, who is going to win? 100 brothers going to win because there are 100. These are 5. I said no, number doesn't matter here. There's something else going on. What is that? 5 versus 100, who is going to win? It is not the number. Somebody said, they may have more money, they have more weapons, more guns and all. No, they are also same. And they have more bigger army than this army. But still, these 5 brothers won the battle. Can you think why they won? Dharma. Dharma, adharma. Dharma, if one person is there on the side of dharma, he is going to win. If 1 million people are there behind adharma, they are not going to win. It is not the number. It is the principle on which is the foundation on which your war is based. So this rational, let us study this. This is just a comic soul sorting center. There is somewhere I got it from there. Buddhist, you know what? The cycle, recycle, life cycle, right? Birth, death, right? So Buddhist says recyclable. Hindu, recyclable. Lutheran, non-recyclable. Krishna, yeah. Catholic, no. Agnostic, flip the coin. We don't know. So, and most of the time, some people say, spirituality, various viewpoints. If you see, I am not a religious person, but I am very spiritual. And it means a greater awareness that there are forces at work that are beyond a person's experience. Each and everyone has his own experience, right? And outside the religion, there should be something, It's not that whatever day I go to temple, I do my duties, I pray God. Okay? You are religious. God is spiritual. You are not going to temple, you don't go to church, don't go to mosque. Still you can be spiritual. You need not be religious to be spiritual. There's a dichotomy between these two aspects, concepts or constructs. So spirituality therefore is a personal affirmation of the divine with a connectedness to the humanistic spiritual values. Here we are plugging in one more word, values. So connection actually is within me. Spirituality is within me. Religious orientation is not within me. Something external. So one is internal and one is external. And later on, when we talk of spiritual typology, we say when both these will be connected and will be converging to one, both internal and external. So in many cultures, spirituality and religion are considered one and the same. It doesn't matter, man, whether you are spiritual or religious. Both are interchangeable words for some people. So a spiritual person is a religious person, but this view disregards the basic humanness of spirituality. Something is lacking. Suppose if one person goes to temple every day, praise God, 3 hours. When he goes out of the temple, there is a person who is hungry. He wanted some money. Say, no man, doesn't give, he goes. He is religious, he is not spiritual. If he is spiritual, what happens? He will have a connection not only with himself, to the outside world. It is not that spending time there in the temple and praying God, why he is spending 2 hours time in the temple? He has got a long list of desires. I want this. God, help me to get my son 4.0 GPA, to get my wife cured of this disease, to get my grandmother cured of this disease. All these things are a long list of desires. So is the purpose why you go to the temple?
Yeah, we are beggars actually in temple.
We are beggars.
We are beggars.
And God, at one point of time, he gets headache to listen to all our useless demands, so many countless demands. So spending time in the temple and all these, without this, what is action? Actions speak louder than words. So they have to put all these things to action. That is where spirituality, the term spirituality comes into. God wants spiritual fruits, not religiousness. Remember, always God doesn't praise. You spend some time in the temple and then if you don't help the person who is needy, he will not be happy. Isn't it so? So, spirituality is a God's call in your soul. Am I going fast, slow? Are you getting the message?
Yes.
And at the same time, I have respect for all the religions. Okay, anyone, if I say anything wrong about any religion, please do not take hold of me when I walk around in the parking lot. Okay. And religion now is the process of search for significance in ways related to sacred, which makes no mention of doctrines, rituals, beliefs that are associated with organized religion. If you talk of organized religion, there are some rituals to go through. Sanatana Dharma, you say, or religion, anything, Hinduism or Christianity, Taoism, Islam. There are some rituals that need to be, isn't it so? And the internalization of religion means what? You are taking the concept to yourself. Whatever is there, one book is there, you read, okay, you have your own interpretation of that and then internalizes yourself for that. Okay, that is very important. And there are external dimensions like ritual participation. Okay, there are some very good, congregation going on or meeting going on about people, you also go in there. Vishnu Sahasranamam is there. They are chanting. Okay, you also go and chant. That is what is called ritual participation. That will not make any sense unless you internalize it. If I start chanting Vyasam Vasit Naftaram Siktepautam Kalmasam Parasaratmajam Vande Sakuratam Taponithim, if I don't really understand the meaning, if I don't really practice what is there is no use of chanting it. That becomes only external. So you have to internalize everything, whatever you say, okay, do good things, do one good thing every day. It's a principle. Are you doing? If I am not doing, there is no point in reciting it. So we have to do good things, right? We have to practice what we read, what we teach, and what we preach. And spirituality is not religion. It is a part of being human. You know what? Religions are man-made. How do you know? What is the birth of Hinduism? What is the birth of Christianity? They are all man-made. And very important, a person feeling comfortable in becoming more spiritual, but they are not. They are not a prerequisite for spirituality. You don't have to join in religion, because religion is a man-made concept with all the idiosyncrasies, fallacies and egos that goes with the things man-made. Any man-made things will have a fallacy. You take for example Bhagavad Gita. There are so many interpretations. Why? Right? Ego. Right? So many fallacies. Exactly what is, can anybody tell this is actual interpretation? No. Because everyone is bringing in his own ideas, his own intelligence, and then try to interpret things the way in which he feels comfortable. Exact meaning we do not know. And that is where, so any man-made concept or construct anything will have idiosyncrasies, fallacies and egos. Therefore, spirituality is a basic part of being human. Spirituality transcends religion. It transcends. Transcendental means beyond the limits. We have to go beyond the limits, right? That is what is called transcendental. So spirituality is much more powerful than religion. Religion has got its own, but it doesn't mean that you should not be, have religious orientation. It is also helpful. I will explain about that later. Okay. Religion divides. Spirituality unites. You ever think about it? Different religions divide the people. And spirituality, for example, my friend Umar, he got captured by the term spirituality and transformational leadership. If I say religion, transformational leadership, he would not have come. Right? He must have thought, oh man, religion, he must be talking about Hinduism and relationship to this. Oh man, okay. When I talk about spirituality, that word came because that unites people from different religions. So spirituality unites, religion divides. Am I clear?
Yeah.
Are you agree with me?
Yeah, I agree.
No, Partha?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I got an invitation in the morning from Dr. Shiva in the email, and I was like, it is interesting, I will come.
Yeah, that's right. Example I'm telling. Anything, anything which is non-controversial, that will unite the people. Anything controversial will divide the people. Anybody can disagree, it's just like.
But the religion is the way to induce the spirituality. However
Yes,
flawed it is the way the people saw it. Otherwise, there was no way to induce the spirituality into the materialistic lives.
Exactly.
What is the other way that we could induce spirituality into?
That's what I'm telling.
Oh.
I'm coming to that, Spirituality has so many typologies, we say. That's what the typology of spirituality.
Can you explain what is spirituality?
Yeah, I'm going to explain.
Oh, you are.
Yeah. There are two dimensions of spirituality. One is transcendence and connectedness. There are two dimensions. Okay. Transcendence and connectedness. And if these two are high, then we are highly spiritual. I'll tell you about this. If you are high on one and low on another, what happens we'll see. So the degree of awareness of the higher power of life philosophy manifesting itself in an awareness of transcendental dimension to the life and awareness of connectedness concerning self, others and external environment. That is spirituality. So there are so many things going on here. Yourself, others and external environment. All these are together. Only then you become spiritual. So it's a very, very comprehensive definition. And okay, you see that this is what I was telling you. We need to tolerate. Tolerance. Everyone and everything has something to teach us. Different religious marks, right? Tolerance. This is the typology. Connectedness on the x-axis, transcendence on the y-axis. One is low, high. If you are going from low to high, low to high, you read like this. So if you divide this into 4 cells like this, this is cell 1, cell 2, cell 3, cell 4. So let us explain about these cells. Cell 1. Cell 1 represents low connectedness and low transcendence. Both are low. What happens? You ask some people, we can ask some 8-year-old or 10-year-old boy, you want to come to temple and, I need to go to playground to play. Right? Normally children. So, during this phase, an individual gets some ideas of both connectedness and transcendence. That's the initial stage. But maturity level of individual is not enough to digest either connectedness or transcendence. I cannot explain my 10-year-old baby everything. At the same time, of course, there are some people, they get age, 50, 60, 70, they are not bothered about this. We will talk about this later. But initially, even younger children, they do not have that mental maturity to understand all these concepts. They simply realize, okay, parents are going to temple, let's go. Let them pray. They wait for the prasadam at the end. You know prasadam? That is at the end, okay, let's wait for 1 hour, or they go outside to play. This is what they understand. They don't have enough maturity to see the purpose of going there. They don't understand the transcendence and connectedness. And some individuals get confused. That's another thing. Why should I do this? Why not? And they prefer to stay in the same stage. They never attempt to go to any other cell. They get confused. There are so many religions out there, so many things are going on. Man, I am totally confused. Let me forget about it. I am happy with what I am. Why should I bother about it? Some people are like that. They don't even try to go beyond cell 1. For these people who stay here, life is hijacked by non-essentials. They have only one thing: go to my office, go to work, come back, count the money. They worship money, right? They buy necessary groceries, get happy family. They never bother about any other thing else, because life is now hijacked by these all non-essentials. They don't think about themselves, who I am, what is the world, how I came. They don't even question, they don't think. So they are in cell 1. They have both low levels of connectedness and transcendence. See, more people are spiritual but not religious. This chart, this old chart of 2008 when they did survey, the growing minority of 18 to 39-year-olds who identify themselves as both spiritual and not religious. Right? So, as the time passes, if you see, it is increasing. Maybe now it may be some 30%. More and more are becoming spiritual than religious, because that's a very convenient platform for them to come along.
Ultimately, that can reduce the conflicts in the country also.
Exactly, that's a very good thing. That will reduce the conflicts within the country.
Within the country, within the world.
Within the world. Within the world. Spirituality is the construct that will unite the countries in the world. Religions that they separate the countries.
Highest amount of war fought in the world in name of religion.
Definitely. Not in the name of spirituality. Wherever meditation is going on, everybody will join.
Yes, in the name of religion, but not properly understanding what
Yes.
religion is.
Yes.
Cause is not the religion, cause
Yes.
is not
Yeah.
ignorance of religion.
Yeah.
Exactly. Ignorance of religion. So, then cell 2. This is where religious or traditional spirituality, we call that. Traditional. From one to another, the upper one, where high transcendence and low connectedness. They are not connected to the world. They are themselves, they know, okay, transcendence, I am here. That's it. I am meditating, I am here. They move from cell 1 to cell 2. So cell 1 is actually a training phase. So the boys, when they grow up, let's say the same boy at 10 years, he says that, he is in a training phase. When he goes to 16, 17 years, he goes to college, people are meditating, okay, let me go there, man, this, right? Yoga, meditation, that will help. So they go to the cell 2, where they have some kind of transcendence, but low connectedness to the world. Some individuals advance to this stage. So religion has been defined here as a belief and attitude, a search for meaning in life. That is where they start, for search for meaning in life, who I am, what I have to do, or desire to be more in contact with a transcendent identity. They try to relate slowly. They try to have the transcendental, that kind of spirit within themselves, and then later on. So religion is not about specific rituals, doctrines or dogmas that are associated with religion today. In this cell, whoever people are there in this, they are concerned about transcendence, no connectedness. For them, religion doesn't mean you have to follow rituals. This is what they understand. Because they already started internalizing religion within themselves through the transcendence. So that is a very important aspect here. Now, when you define spirituality in a religious context, actually if you try to define spirituality in a religious context, this will present certain arrogance and deliberate attempt to inject religious spin to spirituality. They say, I have got to be this transcendental because I am Hindu, because I am Muslim, I am Christian. So they just try to give a religious spin to the spirituality, which is again wrong. But they tend to do that. That is, we call religious or traditional spirituality. Then cell 3, this is new age or popular spirituality, the third one on the lower segment of the quadrant, where low transcendence and high connectedness from training phase, some people move to this phase. Not necessarily they go to 1, 2, 3. From 1 they can go to 4, 1 they can go to 3, 1 they can go to 2. So individuals subscribe to this philosophy that a connectedness of self to the outer world is more important. Some people are connected to the world. For example, if we identify myself, I am more of connectedness than transcendence. Everybody can connect yourself, where I am. I am in this phase 1 or phase 2 or phase 3 or phase 4. If I am meditating every day for 1 hour or half an hour or maybe 2 hours at home, do all this, then I am connected. Then I can say, when I try to know myself with a high transcendence and high connectivity, then I am in cell 4. So we know as individuals in what phase or in what cell we are. So it is a mix of spiritual, social, political forces, and it is difficult to study because it's all conglomeration. When you are trying to connect yourself to society, society is consisting of what? Social, cultural, technical, political, economic, all these. It becomes a holistic concept, very difficult to define here. So past life, out of body experiences, speaking foreign tongues, foreign languages, and reincarnations are some of the examples accepted in this new age of thought. New age, that is cell 3. I haven't yet come to the main topic. I'll come slowly. Okay. So here is a high connectedness and high transcendence. This is, some individuals move from cell 1 to cell 4 directly. Because when they start realizing, they progress in both directions simultaneously, move upwards to 4. So early scholars on religion did not differentiate. This is what they don't differentiate now between religion and spirituality. Because they are internalizing it and they are using it and so on. So humanist, psychological writers expand religion beyond God that controls the universe. Now here, when you talk of religious orientation, there are two things, intrinsic and extrinsic, based on human beings need to survive. Now for them, spirituality and intrinsic religious orientation is very important than the relationship between spirituality and external, extrinsic religious orientation. Extrinsic religious orientation means, okay, all people are going to church, let me also go to church on Sunday. That is extrinsic religious orientation. Intrinsic religious orientation is different. I follow myself within that religious concept, spirituality. I don't have to go. If everything is internalized, you don't have to. One day, if I recall, I went to Austin. In Austin, there is a 50 mile, about 30 mile distance, there is a ISKCON temple. we went there to the temple. From my experience, I am telling. We went to the temple around evening 7 o'clock. It was about 1.5 hour drive, from the place where we were. Then when we went closer to the temple, then there are these ISKCON temple, all these people are there, right? Some of them are Americans. And I asked, we came far away. We don't stay in Austin. We are from Oklahoma. And tomorrow morning we are going. Is it possible just to open the temple? We have darshan of Lord Krishna and go. He said, no. Why don't you do one thing? Open your curtain here. I told him, please sir, people who come to the temple, if they can open the curtain here, they never come to temple. They come to temple, you have to provide them an opportunity of opening curtain here. This is the phase 1, right? And then they go on doing it, then they will realize that God is within themselves and they open the curtain here. So please do not shut the doors for them who want to see. Timings are created by you, not by the God. You made the timings. Temple is closed at 7. It means God is not there after 7. He is there. You are prohibiting people not to see. You are here. If temple is closed, locked, okay. You are here. How much time does it take? Just cut in, just open it. They will have lesson and go. So there is less connectedness. That is pure religious orientation. If one is connected, they would say, okay sir, please come, open. If you go to, once I went to the village, in the village small temple, the temple priest almost closed the temple, locked the temple was going out. I went there, sir, okay, please come sir, you open, went inside.
He will give you some water
Yeah,
and
water.
tea and chanamat.
Yeah, and then go there, we have darshan and go. Right?
There is a lot of big debate going on this subject. We have also a lot of problem with this.
Yeah.
We'll talk later.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead further.
Yeah, there's so many things, once the religious, the priests are sometimes very, they follow the rules.
Right.
They once, a person, he outside the temple, in the morning, they said temple opens at 9 a.m. Okay, he goes at 8:30 or so. The pujari, that is priest inside, he says temple is not open, you have to wait outside. Then he has been waiting outside, Then one person came and asked him, touched him, what are you doing? I am waiting, he said. Then he asked me, who are you? I am the God. I am also waiting for him to open. I came out when he opened the door, okay, to clean the things, I came out, okay, for morning walk. He closed the temple. He is not opening for me even. How can he open temple to you? So I am the God. So some rules are like that. They follow the rules,
They are religious, not spiritual.
They are religious but not spiritual. There is no connectedness.
These cells you define, they are not same as a stage of life.
No, they are different. People at any stage of life can be anywhere. I know some people who are 70 years old, they are not even in cell 1. I have seen some people who are 10 years old, they are in cell 4. So age and connectedness has nothing to do with this. Where you are depends on you.
I understand, means like Sankaracharya, Vivekananda, you can say from cell 1 to cell 4 directly.
Yeah, they go to cell 1 to cell 4 directly.
Yeah. But there are other examples like Manoj Bhargava, you know him or not, I don't know. He is a 5-hour energy, he is a founder of that.
Okay.
So when he was young, he spent money in this 5-hour energy. Now 1.5 billion bottles he prepare every day or for a month.
Okay.
But now he is on the Forbes 500 billionaire list,
Okay.
and now he has started giving that money back to the society.
Okay.
So he has started one research institution where all engineering student, graduate student he hired, and he has started creating a bicycle from which he can, if you run that bicycle, you just create 1 hour, 24-hour energy. Just for 1 hour you run the bicycle and you have a 24. So he is now donating that in Uttarakhand for to about 20,000 those cycle to generate those electricity.
Okay.
So now how will we define? He is now around 60 years of age.
That's
so
right.
he is also we can say that he is in phase 4 or
No,
7.
no, we cannot say because we do not know whether he is very good in transcendence. External orientation is
he
good.
is very
Externally
good
is
in
connected to the world. Okay. Only internally, unless you know, only you see a person alone can tell in what phase he is. I cannot tell in what cell you are. Only you can tell. Because what is your level of transcendence, that can be known only to you. Connectedness can be known to the world. How I am connected to the world is known to everybody. How transcendent I am is known only to myself. Outsiders cannot tell about that, you know.
So the connectedness through Facebook or this
Through
this
anything, all the
this is
connectedness.
low
Yeah.
connectedness or low transcendence.
Yeah, right.
That was the question of Arjuna to the Lord Krishna in the second chapter in Sthit Prajna Lakshana.
Exactly.
That you are the self-realized person, but how do I know?
How do I know? That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
How do you, the question
Yeah.
was what
Yeah,
he
yeah.
eats, how he behaves.
Yeah.
So the behavioral pattern of the person tells how he is.
How he is.
It was Lord Krishna who penetrated in him.
Hmm.
Otherwise, Arjuna was nothing.
One can always say, I'm good man. He signs his own certificate of
That's
glory.
right. Yeah.
And what's
That's
the
right.
meaning of it?
Yeah, if you know the person, don't ask him about him. Don't ask about him what he is. Observe what he does.
That's it.
The behavior tells what kind of person he is.
Yes.
So not by telling, I can say Satya is a very good man like this, I can say. But good or not, only behavior tells.
Yeah, but then other person is also has to be that label to value people. It's like if the Johari will know what the diamond is. If I
Exactly.
don't know the diamond, he will give me diamond. Though it's just already we got from dollar shop.
That's right, yeah. That is also right.
That-
Both have to be the
See,
label.
that was the question that Arjuna asked, that if this person is realized, then another realized person may say, "Why this is realized,"
Yeah.
but I am not realized, man.
Yeah, to evaluate
So-
somebody, I have to be at that level too. I'm
That's
not
right.
worth
That's
nothing.
not very
I cannot evaluate what Dr. Satya is.
So the connectedness is known to others, you know, because the philanthropic act and then making good things and all these things are known, but internally whether he is realized or not, only a person can evaluate himself. So in what cell you are, in what cell I am, I know. In what cell you are, I do not know. It's all left to the I mean, correct? Are you getting the concept?
Is there, I mean, following up on Rajkumar's question, it's true that anybody can be anywhere, but what is the more likelihood? Is there any correlation between age, if there is a survey? Is there any correlation between age and the cells? So so that you see what is the abundance, where is the more abundance in which cell?
Yeah, there is correlation between age and
Yeah, that's,
is, you know,
I think
that's what
he was asking.
there is correlation, sure, as you progress. But sometimes there may be some points, you know, we can say abnormalities where, you know, lesser age people can be in cell 4, more age people can be in cell 1 and so on.
Probability.
Yeah, the probability.
The
yeah,
probability
like-
is higher that somebody
Yeah.
at higher age will be.
But
in
now,
cell
you
one.
see, simple example. If I ask some students, let us say, why don't you read Bhagavad Gita? Right? They say, sir, we are still students, we are young. When we reach 40, 50 years, then we start. It means what? Already they have preconceived notion that when I become old, then I become religious and spiritual. Right now I am a student, let me enjoy, let me go to the bar and drink and all that, enjoy and all. That is the mindset.
That is where the Bhagavad Gita also says about the karma.
Yeah.
Your past karma in the previous lives
Right.
carries some.
It's preventing you not to go to cell
Not to go
4.
to the- not
I'm
to go to-
always remaining in cell 1 rest of my life.
That's right.
That's true.
It's a,
So it's a
it's a complicated.
complicated
Very
question to
complicated.
answer, yeah. So why we are there, but why we are there is difficult to answer.
Can one person be in different cells?
Yes?
Can a person belong to many cells, or depending on the
Ah.
location or the situation?
It's exactly the you see, can I be at different places at the same time?
No, in the box and those.
Yeah, in the box only.
Can maybe in the evening you are in the bar, in the
Yeah.
morning you are
Exactly.
in the temple.
No,
Maybe you are in the bar but thinking of God, right?
So you circulate, you know, from different phases. No, it's not so. If but the moment you go from one phase to another phase, you already have got the connectedness, you got the transcendence, it won't go back. It is a knowledge which is learned can never be forgotten. Isn't it so? H2SO4, for example, you studied. So can you forget that? No. So things is like learning. Whatever things you learn, they are already there in the mind, you follow them. You don't unlearn them. It's also transcendence and connectedness is also like learning. When once you learn, you don't go back. So do you try to advance? Thing is that whether you try to advance or you going to stop. That's the question. So you can move from 1 to 4, 1 to 2, 1 to 3 and so on. And so these are the typologies I developed actually.
There are examples, several examples of great saints or enlightened people who
Yes.
have fallen down from the high.
Right. They have some examples where they go to, for example, Vishwamitra.
Yes.
He reached very high.
Yeah.
At
What
certain
happened?
occasions he was not.
I mean, Vishwamitra is like in mythology, but
Yeah.
there is a guy who came to give a seminar at UMass,
Oh.
Amrit Yogi,
Mm-hmm.
who started Kripalu Center.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got indulged in activity that he wouldn't imagine from somebody as enlightened as that.
Yeah.
So there are several examples. in
example. You
people
see,
fall from.
That's right. Actually, human mind is very complicated, and even strong person's weakness. Every person has weakness. If a person succumbs to the weakness, one can fall from anywhere. From the top, he can come down to bottom quickly. It's very it's difficult to get a good name, good fame. It's very difficult to get a good name and good fame.
So learning
Easy to
is
get-
not enough.
Learning is
I
not
guess
enough,
The practice is more important.
Yes. Maintaining it and practicing it is very important.
Inculcating
See,
yourself.
if one tries for all the time for the glorification of personally, that is where also the question. If you are a good man, why do you need a certificate of a good man?
We don't need, that's the
If you are a good man, you are a happy person.
That's right.
This is
That is what we call Sthita Pragnam.
exactly.
Sthita Pragnam is stoic, who is not influenced by extremes.
You may have realized that the self, but then you are tempted by the temptation of the world.
Or-
Also at
yeah,
the same
right,
time.
right.
That is where the catch
Yeah.
is.
See, if somebody says, Satya, you're a great teacher, I'm not bothered. Somebody, Satya is a bad teacher, I'm not bothered.
That's it.
That's it. If I'm elevated by Satya, you're a wonderful person, oh man, I'm in the sky. Right? If somebody says, Satya, you're not doing good job, oh man, he's criticizing me. That is not,
That is a body.
that is right. Sthita Prajna is one stoic who is not influenced by extremes. For them, nothing matters. Everything is temporary.
So it's also situational dependent and regional dependent. Let's say if the same person is in Himalayas, he's obviously be transcendental because he's nothing to do or nothing to distract him.
No.
The same person is in somewhere.
I'll give a simple example. It's wonderful. There is a story of a teacher and disciple. Teacher told the disciples, don't touch the younger women, younger girls and all these. No, be away from them and all that. So one day the teacher and the disciple, they were going and there is a 18-year-old young girl. She's not able to step into the boat, to go to the other side, of the river. So instead of telling the Shishya, that is the disciple, what Guruji did, the teacher did, he was holding her and then putting her in that boat. And boat has gone to the other side. These two people came home. Then after coming home, after 1 week, this disciple was really going internally, something wrong, what teacher told us not to touch the girls. And he was touching and holding it and then putting it in the boat. And what is this? Teacher is not practicing what he is preaching. So for 1 week, this teacher came to know, there's something else going on, he's confused. So you have any questions? Sir, for last 1 week, I'm thinking to ask you whether to ask you or not. You told us not to touch the young girls, but you are holding her, putting her in the boat, and I could not understand this. You know what he told? You see, I took her, put her into the boat. It's a matter of 1 minute. I was holding her for 1 minute. You are holding her for 1 week. You are holding her for 1 week in your mind. So what matters is mind. It's not act. I have intention of helping her. I'm putting her. And I forgot. That's it. It's not there in my mind.
Yeah.
At that time, it's not that young girl or old or woman. What is that? Somebody wanted help. I helped.
Yeah.
What you understood is, she's a girl, should not touch. I touched. Why teacher touched? So your hand. This is you are holding her for one week. So that is what is the difference. You may be in Himalayas, maybe anywhere,
Yeah.
where your mind wanders.
No,
You may
my context was rather Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra was all saints until Ramba appeared in front of him. And as soon as she appeared and he was down to the earth. Yeah,
Menaka.
whatever,
Yeah,
whatever it was.
Yeah.
But what I mean to say, without these elements of distraction, Vishwamitra would have been completely
Right.
meditating or doing
See,
whatever he was doing. Yeah.
he melted because of the extreme environment.
Yes, what I mean
Even
to
though
say
he
is
went
that-
so high on his
Yeah,
tapasya
yeah.
and everything, but then like woman came and dancing, and he's not like Shankarji who opened the eye and bhasma khatam kama ko bhasma kar diya. Shankarji finished, but not Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra got trapped.
Yeah.
So that's why going high is easier, but remaining high,
He is
he
very
did
tough.
not remain high.
So,
Mm.
yeah, that's very good point. Actually, that explains the human mind, how it can be weak. A strong person, will person like Vishwamitra was actually, why Vishwamitra was trying to go for so much, all these things, praise and all these things. He is called, he was a king. Okay, he was called Raja Rishi. Raja Rishi, because he is a king. No, he said, I want to be named as Brahma Rishi.
Yeah, Vasishtha.
I want to be, Vasishtha is called Brahma Rishi.
Yeah.
Brahma Rishi. I want to be called as Brahma Rishi. You are calling me Rajarshi. I go for penance again, standing on one leg and like to pray and all that. So his desire actually to become Brahmarshi. Later on, finally they agree, okay, ma'am, if you want to be happy, we will call you Brahmarshi. But still there are differences between even when he became Brahmarshi, Vishwamitra and both, there is a fight that between there is what is called once a small story for 2 minutes.
No, there's
No.
another Swarga he
No,
created.
between Vasishtha comes to Vishwamitra and says, we are all doing Samuhika Yagna, all joint Yagna, 100 people are doing and praying God, why don't you come and do this Yagna? He said, no, I will do alone. Okay, when you come as that's called Satsang. When you come to Satsang, Sats means all, Sang means unity, you will have some power. He said, no, you go in Satsang, I will do alone. What you get the power, I also get the power. Let us see who will get the more power. Okay, they took about 1 year time. They took 1 year. All satsang. Vasishtha has been praying with all 100 people and all the yajna. Vishwamitra has been doing alone. After 1 year, Vishwamitra comes. Okay, I also acquired power. You acquired power. Let us see who has got more power. They go to Lord Vishnu. They asked Vishnu, who has got more power? Vishnu told, and if I say that Vasishtha has got more power, Vishwamitra may get angry, he may curse me, go to earth and take another life. I have taken 10 times life in earth, so I cannot take another avatara. So he said, no, I am feeling headache, I am feeling sleepy. Most intelligent is that. No. That what is that? That's the Seshnag. Seshnag is very intelligent. You ask him. Seshnag thought, oh man, he is putting me into trouble. Seshnag thought, okay, my head is very heavy. In Hindu mythology, on the Seshnag, earth stays.
Yeah.
Earth is on the Seshnag, right?
Yeah.
Seshnag says, I am carrying the load of earth. If somebody using your power, take the earth into your hands, I will think and tell you. Okay. Then Vishwamitra says, yeah, I got power, I will hold it. Okay. He takes that earth into his hands. Then this man is thinking, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Because his power is getting exhausted, it's becoming heavy. Earth is becoming heavy. Sir, please think about it. It's very heavy. Said, if you feel it heavy, your power is over, then you can give it to Vasishtha. Okay. At the last moment, he calls Vasishtha, please take. Vasishtha takes that, he holds it like this in a single hand. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours. This man is thinking still. Vishwamitra asked, what is the answer? Don't you know? He was holding for 3 hours without pain, single hand. With both the hands you are holding for 2 minutes. Don't you know he has got more power? Then Vishwamitra utters, just murmurs, oh, I could hold, my power of doing all this for 1 year got me power of only to hold the earth for 3 minutes. Then Seshnag says, no, your power of being alone was 0. This power you got because you walked along with him. Because you walked along with him, some power got transferred to you, because of which you are holding earth for 3 minutes. That is called satsang. That is the importance of walking with good people, right people. If you walk with right people along with them, okay, the power will get transferred.
Positive energy, negative energy.
If you walk with the bad people, bad energy will come to you. So all that is called satsang. That's very important. So power. See, human beings, they have got that ego. That ego is very, very dangerous. So, am I clear about the typologies? So, then let me come to leadership. Actually, they should have been 2 topics. I am combining 2. But why spirituality is important? This is all from the viewpoint of management. Why spirituality is important for CEOs and managers? Then there are 2 types of leadership styles, We have trait theories are there, behavioral theories are there, situational theories are, contingency theories are there, leadership. But there are 2 prominent theories, contemporary theories are transactional, transformational leadership styles. What is the connection? See, boss. See the difference between these 2? Right? The leader, what he does, he is in the forefront. That is the difference between boss and leader. Once a person goes to buy a parrot to the shop. Shopkeeper says, I want to, there is a parrot, $1,000. Why $1,000? Seller says, it knows how to speak English. Oh, that's great. Oh, you like parrot speaking languages? Yeah. There is another parrot which costs $2,000. Why? It knows how to speak English and Spanish. Oh, that's great. There is another parrot that is $3,000. Why? It knows how to speak English, Spanish and Chinese. They are global, right? Then that's great. Oh, there is another parrot which costs $10,000. $10,000? Why? Does it know 10 languages? Says, no, I did not see this parrot speaking anything. But I know these 3 parrots call that parrot boss. The boss. The boss. Right? So he doesn't have to know anything. Some bosses are like that. They just boss. They don't manage. They make money. Biggest amount of money they grab, they take. They don't. They are boss. But what we want is not the bosses. We want leaders. I'm sorry about, I normally sprinkle these kind of jokes in the classes, that. So, what is the transactional leadership is one style where here there is like a transaction. Leader, you are subordinate. I am leader, you are subordinate. This is what you need to do. If you do this, you will be rewarded. If you don't do, you will be punished. Straight exchange relationship. A transactional leadership. Employees are motivated by reward and punishment. They say, if I do well, I will get a reward, otherwise punishment. And they have to obey the orders. And followers are not self-motivated. They have to be closely monitored and controlled. Right? There is no self-motivation in this case. So thank you very much. So, what leaders do? They emphasize short-term goals, standards, rules, procedures. They go by the rules book. They go by the code of all these rules. This is what you need to do, job description, okay, job specification, and if you don't do this, you'll be, that's all. They don't do anything. And they are highly directive. They say, you do this, you do this. They give direction. They do not motivate. That is a transactional type of leadership. And you know what? The only transaction between leader and follower is the money, which is the follower receives for their complaints of effort. So if money is not there, they won't even work. Otherwise, they will be punished. So they don't make an effort to enhance followers' creativity and generation of new ideas. Okay. And this kind of leadership style may work well when organizations are simple, they don't have many problems. That's fine. But now, what happens? Let us see. Transformational leadership, what they do is where there are 4 I's. One is idealized influence, is a role model for the followers. Followers have to see, oh, he is a leader, we have to follow him. And inspirational motive, they motivate the subordinates. You do this way, you do this way. And they inspire and motivate the employees. And individualized consideration means they have consideration for all the employees at individual level. If an employee doesn't come to the work, he comes to work late, he doesn't punish. Transactional leader punishes him. Transformational leadership will ask him, why did you come late? Any problem at home? Any family problem? Isn't it so? We will have individualized consideration. And intellectual stimulation. They say you can do it. You have the potential, you can do it. That kind of attitude you have in transformation leadership. And styles, if you see, idealized influence of charisma, intellectual stimulation, inspirational motivation, individual consideration. Here, contingent reinforcement rewards. That's it, only a transaction. Management by exception, passive. If everything is going fine, okay, I don't have to worry. Something is going wrong, active management by exception. They say, okay, in this department things are not doing well, let me go and inspect and get them done. They don't go beyond that. What is that? So if you see, Bass is a very classic person. He started this transformational leadership style. Bass is the one who started charismatic style. Charisma, inspiration. So, with inspiration actually he communicates very high expectations, uses symbols to focus efforts. And intellectual stimulation, he promotes intelligence, rationality and careful problem solving. And personal attention, all this. And here, contingent reward, management by exception passive and active. And sometimes he abdicates his responsibilities, he doesn't do. He is only concerned about his fat paycheck. Also, stock options they get, that's it. They say CEOs may think, another 3 years I am getting retired, why should I bother? Let the company go to hell. That kind of attitude they have, transactional. Now, how does it work? Transactional works within a system. Remember, transformational works to change system, change. You know what? Once a story that the supervisor in the department, they say, he calls everybody, please, attention, next week our CEO is going to visit our department, please take out the placards stating that we love change. Clean them up, put them on the table of everybody's table, put them. We love change, we like change. When he leaves, put it inside. Only to show that's not correct. It's not the placards, it's not that. We have to do. Employees have to get that ingrained into the blood of their, and works to change system. And start solving by fitting experience to a known pattern. Where is the step by step? What do we need to change? Here you follow the process. Whereas here you see where we need to change, how we change now that. Minimizes variation, maximizes capability. Here what is happening, okay, our goal is to produce 100 units. Are we producing close to the 100 units or not? 95, okay, fine. Whereas here, why not 150? Why not 120? Think that. So in transformational, you try to improve, not try to go to the standards and fix them and see minimum variation in the standards. And expects everyone to meet the standard, that's it. Can be duplicated, best at delivering defined results. That's very good. If you have a small organization, there are defined goals, do them. But it doesn't work. And if you want to really change, if you want to have innovation, creativity, you need transformational leaders. Why we study this is, what is the connection between spirituality and this type of leadership? That is the whole point. I'll skip this one, the process. Comparing two styles, once again, transactional reacts to the problems, transformational addresses issues before they become emergencies. So the one is proactive and reactive. Transactional reactive, transformational proactive. Reward, punish, and high order reward system. Here we have outward. See, transactional, individual rewards, transformational group rewards. You got the teams, and the teams get rewarded. Now, when this is actually empirical study we did. We collected data from students and the nurses and the teachers. There are three different groups of the samples we have. We distributed survey about their religious orientation, about spirituality. There's some questionnaires, polished questionnaires developed and circulated among them. Then what we hypothesized is spirituality will lead to transformational leadership, but also transactional leadership. Okay, and I'll explain. Sorry, I'll draw this figure. It's not there. I'll draw it here so that you understand briefly what the topic is. Spiritual. If you are spiritual, what happens? And okay, these are the two things, and connection between these two. To what is important now we found transformational, right? This is very important, right? This is what we want. This we don't want. We know about spiritual orientation. Spiritual orientation, they lead to transformational leadership. Plus, this also will lead to transformational leadership. Now, between these, religious orientation. So moderates, it will strengthen relationship between these. This is, for example, relationship is positive, like this. Okay. From transactional to transformational. This is transactional, transformational. Okay. This is X, let us say. This is Y. This is X. Now, religious orientation will strengthen means if we have religious orientation, it will be like this. If you do not have religious orientation, it will be like this. So this arrow means it will strengthen relationship between these two variables. So that is what we wanted to see, the impact of if people are going to church, people are going to mosque, people are in the CEOs, okay, all these people are, this is how we talked about middle level people and then high level people, you know. And what is its impact on style leadership? That's what we study. That is what is called moderating relationship between these. So, is this clear?
So
Academic.
if religious orientation in any of the path is not there, it cannot transform.
It can slowly.
It will.
Yeah, it will be very slow. If we have, it will be fast. If it is low, let us say low. Right.
But can we say
Orientation.
can we say that the religious orientation is connected to the spiritual orientation? Then
Yeah,
the
that's-
transformative transactional leadership can transform to the transformative leadership.
From here to here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, with religious orientation.
So that person also have a spiritual
Yeah,
orientation.
already this spiritual is directly related.
Okay.
Spiritual
So-
person is already spiritual. For him, easy to get to transformational.
So for him,
Transactional to become, you have religious orientation.
so for him, is
For
it
him-
needed? Religious orientation is needed.
Is also it will help. It will help in enhancing.
How would it impact if he doesn't have any religion, but he's highly spiritual, he's connected?
That's what.
Yesterday doesn't
That's what the same thing. If you are highly spiritual, maybe it will like this, like this. It is low high.
So Raj's question is, does one have to be religious to be a transformational leader?
No,
Okay, that's one.
doesn't
So
have.
yeah. So
Doesn't
because you
have to
showed
be.
in both the.
It doesn't have to be.
Doesn't have.
Yeah, if it is low, you can be low on religious orientation. I am very high on spirituality, low on religious orientation, but in that case I will be progressing like this. If I have religious orientation, then I will be like this. Already there is a high degree of positive correlation between. It will be much higher if you have religious orientation.
So earlier you had, in the very beginning, you said that religion divides, spirituality unites. So you're
That's right.
telling me now that by having religion and dividing things, we will be making no transformation?
No, if you are purely on one side, if you take purely on religious, not spiritual, then that will divide.
But if you become religious, which means you're bringing it down rather than bringing it up, and your hypothesis shows that it's higher.
No, if you are both, you are now both, not one. You are spiritual and also religious. At the higher level, both will be converging. Because they are now internalizing everything, spirituality in religion too. So in that case, as you know, the rivers will all converge into the ocean. Similarly, if you are spiritual, right? When you go, you will not find difference between a religious orientation and spiritual orientation. Because you will have the connectedness in the mind. I am going to the temple not just because of religious rituals, because I also have realization that I am spiritual. I am spiritual and religious both. If one is spiritual and not religious, that is different. If one is religious, not spiritual, different. If one is both, then you have different mix.
But your presentation, at least in the definition, was a contrast, not that both can be together. I mean, if you become religious, what is the religious? What is the meaning of being religious?
Being religious means you have to follow the strict rules and regulations and dogmas and all these, and become only to not to show within yourself. Okay, only to show that to the world that you are religious and you are not internalizing the concept.
So in this context, what would that be?
In this context,
You still have dogmatic, and you still showing to the world that you are really very good or whatever. That's what there is. Otherwise, what Raj is saying, you don't need to really have necessarily religion.
Religions.
Actually, maybe from your earlier presentation, being spiritual will make you more transformational.
that's right.
And if you bring in religious aspect into it, it might slow down. So maybe your line will be a lower, will have lower.
No, but you are talking, in this example, aren't you saying that the religion is making you more connected?
Exactly.
Whereas the spiritual is making you transcending.
Transcending.
And then, So having both, you're in a higher self.
Exactly.
And so you are going to be functioning as a better leader.
Exactly, exactly. That's what is the point. You
Her
know?
point and
Yeah,
her
exactly.
views.
That,
Rather
for
than
your
using
question,
the-
that is the answer actually. She gave the wonderful answer.
Yeah.
So rather than defining through the spirituality or religiousness, you should have connected through the cells. Does cell one
Yeah.
become this leadership or does cell two
Yeah.
become this leadership?
That actually we had in mind, you know, to continue. But with this I'll show you, I didn't show the results actually. These are the questions we asked, you know, I have had the survey, I have had a strong sense of the presence of higher power, spirituality. There is a power that has control over events in the world. I have had transcendent experiences in which I was overcome with a sense of awe, wonder, reverence. Important for me to believe in higher. All these are the questions related to spirituality. And religious orientation, intrinsic and extrinsic. There are two different dimensions. For example, I enjoy reading about my religion. I have a strong sense of God's presence. If you say extrinsic, I go to church because it helps me to make friends. Extrinsic orientation. Some people go to church, we go there to meet friends. I go to church mostly to spend time with my friends.
Devi Darshan.
These are some of the questions. Okay.
So
This
I
external-
was thinking that the transactional leadership go to first or spiritual orientation, and that path is connected through religious orientation, and then he can transform
Yeah,
as a transformational.
Oh, that is another, we can have that path too. We didn't test. That's right. There's so many possibilities. You know, you can have you know in the models you can have religious to spiritual to transactional transformation. You can have that path. Okay, and you can also go from cell 1 connection, cell 2 to connection, cell 3 connection, and so on. But difficult, you know, empirically difficult to identify who is in which cell unless they identify themselves. So I think it's a good question. I think in my next paper, you know, when I analyze, I'll go through. It's a wonderful question, suggestion. I'll go through each cell and see connection to the leadership.
So can one religious person, without being spiritual, can he become a transformational leader?
Purely religious person can become transformational. Yeah, he can become.
So the spirituality is kind of
Yeah.
it's a subjective term. We don't
But
know how
it takes a long.
spiritual a person is. But
No, that is what. That's what I gave example of. You know, Duryodhana, transactional leader. Okay, Krishna, transformational leader. Krishna, what did he? Is a transformational leader. He transformed. He instilled confidence in Arjuna. Individual consideration, talent, and all these. Transformational. This fellow is transactional. That is, there was a fight within them, you know, when who is it? Bhishma was the army, right? King of the army, chief of the army. Karna was not there at all.
Yes,
If he is a transformational leader,
yes,
he would have forced Karna to also to join.
exactly.
He is not, isn't it so? So that is the difference. And there's a huge difference between these. Yeah, good question. I'll definitely incorporate in my further research. Cell 1 to the correction of this.
There is a point, Krishna
you
tried
should
to
acknowledge all of us in that
transform
paper.
Varna.
Yeah. All regression results and all this, I think I avoid. Yes, sir?
The chemistry and
We should be
combined.
acknowledged in the paper.
Yeah, this one, you know. Now, this is what spirituality, transformation leadership. So, low on religious orientation, high on religious orientation. Connection between these two.
So it looks like, so anyway, we can talk about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Technically, it
Yeah.
looks like your slope is higher in the low on, so that
Low.
kind of meets my point that I was saying.
So after a particular point, you know, maybe that beyond a particular point, you know, when both are high, doesn't matter what you do, they converge. But initially, starting at high, even if your spirituality level is low, if the religious orientation is very high, then same thing, transactional to transformational leadership is also low to high. And there are some scholars who work. I think there's some room for questions about past life. You know, there's a comic How can I convince my Buddhist friend that he owes me money from 3 lifetimes ago? If you have belief in existence of past life, here is the
I
question.
can convince him that I owe money, but I'll pay him in the next one.
You can get 3 more
Two
lives.
more lives, you know,
Yeah.
you can extend the mortgage, you know.
You know what, there is a person who goes to restaurant, outside there is a very big board, what is called board or notice or something, that food is free. And you don't have to pay bill. Your grandson will pay the bill. And one 20-year-old man, he goes inside, and it's a very good time for me. He orders food, takes food, worth about $40 or something. That person comes and gives the bill of $40. Man, see the board there, you put. See, my grandson will pay this.
You pay
That
for
is the
your
bill of your grandfather.
Actually, the bill was $100.
$100, yeah. The bill was $100. Bill is of your grandfather. So you have to pay, right? So it's like that. How can I convince? It's difficult, right? Just a comic slide. Any
Is
questions?
there any other question? I think we have had quite a bit of questions. I have several questions, but I think I'll talk to you.
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned a few things about maybe this question I can ask you. You said, yeah, go ahead, you go ahead.
Yes,
Now I can ask you.
Ask the question now.
Yes,
so
sir.
other people can learn too.
I have one question. You said in your slide, like spirituality transcends religion. So, in my opinion, I see a lot of people nowadays. They call themselves as humanists. They don't have any religion. They don't follow anything. They just say like, we are here. We are humans. We have to take care of each other. We have to live happily, peacefully, and take care of this earth. Like, they don't go anything into the religion stuff.
That's right.
So how does that?
Yeah, that's good. No, so some people call tortilla, some people call roti.
Yeah.
What is the difference? They are called humanists. There is another term they coined for this. As long as they are meeting the standards of the spirituality, they are in the spiritual zone. Okay. What is important is not the term, the content. They will be called humanist. For me, I do good things. That's it. For me, they define a different
But
way.
you
Humanist.
study then this shows like if he is not religious, like
Okay.
Where would they fit in?
yeah,
Where they
would
would
fit in?
In your chart.
You see a lot of entrepreneurs these days, they are like up high in the ranks, they have like so many things and they are doing for the world, for the poor people a lot of things and they are not related to any religion or anything. Like they're just,
No, but how we know?
yeah.
That is their religion.
How we know that they are not related to religion?
See, okay,
That
one
is
question.
their religion.
They
That's
don't relate
humanitarianism.
themselves with
See,
any religion publicly.
No,
Like,
no. But how we know?
yeah.
That is the question.
so let's say we
Do
have.
we
a-
know that they are not related to any religion, or maybe that they have religious orientation inside, intrinsic religious orientation?
I think humanity is in
Isn't it so?
above and
Like
beyond.
you see, we can see externally what is happening. Internally, who they are, what they are doing, how we know. It's not, isn't it so? It's difficult to see. Only they themselves can see. Okay, how that thinking came, that I need to help others. What is the origination of the thinking? There must be some grassroots, right? There must be something. They must have learned that from their parents by reading the books, reading Bible, or reading anything. They got that, right? So they got that thinking. So that itself is having religious orientation. That is the consequence. We are seeing the consequence. What is the antecedent? So they will have some connection. Either from the past life we can say they're difficult to explain.
It's very difficult. Some people
Yeah.
do not believe in luck.
Right.
Then they say there is a chance.
Chance.
They are replacing the word luck by chance.
Chance. Replacement of words.
That's-
I am humanist. Some people say I don't have belief in God. You know what? There is a small thing before ending.
They are secularists, not
But see, the person who is non-believer in God,
Like nowadays, the number of those people
Every
are
educated is
increasing.
secularist.
there is a father.
Some
There,
issue.
one second.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 second, sir. There is a father. He is very religious. His son is not religious. So he told the pastor or teacher, that Guruji, sir, my son is not religious. Why don't you just train him? So the teacher or whatever pastor, he takes him or to the church or to the temple. Okay, let's say temple. Say, okay, you don't have belief in God. He said, where is God? The teacher asked this boy, where is God? He said, I don't know. Where is God? Think and tell me. I don't know. Where is God? I am asking you. Then third time when he uttered, where is God? That boy ran away to the house, to his own house. He started, call, Father, we are all in great trouble. That the pastor or the priest, he is going to temple, he is going to the police station, and he is going to send us police here. He is asking me where is God. He thought I stole the God. And we are all going to be in great trouble.
So my couple of questions. One, you said about tolerance.
Yeah.
It's really, I think terms are important.
Yeah.
Like religion is really a very complicated term because the way you said in the beginning, and I understand in the way you there are so many aspects and intrinsic and extrinsic.
Yeah.
So it's very confusing. The tolerance is another one. Tolerance by, if you really feel about what tolerance is like, you're getting a headache, but you can tolerate it.
Right.
So is that what really going to advance the connection and understanding? That's one question. Because you wrote that,
Yeah, different symbols of all
Yeah.
Christ and
Many times people, is full of this idea of tolerance. But actually that's very deceiving. And it could be actually troublesome because how long can you tolerate? I'm looking at you and then I'm tolerating and maybe I will explode at one point. And that's really not going to be peaceful.
Or it would encourage the opposite behavior.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you keep on tolerating.
Tolerating, exactly. And so do you have any opinion about that?
My opinion is that by tolerance we mean do not show any violence to other religions. You have to tolerate all. This is what Swami Vivekananda told.
Yeah,
you
but
have to
that's very
tolerate all
minimal.
religions. Tolerate means you accept all the religions.
Yeah, but acceptance is very different.
Yeah.
Acceptance is very different because then you have to develop respect to accept.
Right.
And
Right.
so you really need to understand the good things about whatever religion that is.
Yeah.
And then you learn to respect and then communicate this. And this is, the last point is very important because we are not able to communicate
Exactly.
with things that I like to respect of other religions,
Yeah.
but I cannot communicate because the people who
Barrier.
are the contractors of their religions
Religion.
are there more transactional.
Yeah.
They-
Right. Exactly. That is the whole point.
So this is very important in a researcher like you who
Yeah.
can really bring this with some data.
Objective.
And that would be really very helpful because I think, like you say, connectedness and universality of many of the thoughts are very useful. That's one. Number two, I have a question. You said spiritual. Do the spirituality accept God? Do you have to have God? Or can spiritual people also have God?
But
Or can be without God?
can I disturb you just a minute?
Yeah.
Can we first define God? If we say this is chair, there is a definition of it. Don't we need a definition of God? And or if there is one, do we all agree to that? This
Something
is the root cause of all our trouble.
That's another big, that's why I'm asking this question. Actually.
So that is why in spirituality transcendence means what? Going beyond what we have. That itself implies God.
So then you have to define what the God is.
Yeah,
What do you mean by
that's so we define God in different ways. Some people define God in terms of nature. Some people define God in terms of Ram, like idol and so on. Some people worship God, no, it's not the God is within me. I worship God within myself. See, whenever I take bath, let us say every day morning, Om Namah Shivaya, when the water comes here, I think I am giving a bath to the Shiva inside. So that is, different people define God differently.
That's my question.
Isn't it so?
But this is where philosophy of Vedanta comes in picture. That the first thing is the definition of God to be clearly understood. And what everybody should come to the common understanding. If we have a different meaning and different definition of one thing, that we all think one thing, we will have never one level of understanding.
That's right. And God is very intelligent. And you know why he is intelligent? Is that he created different languages so that people fight among themselves.
No, we created
The communication.
He knows created.
Only smartest one will get to
Yeah.
God, whatever form it is.
First
Rest
of
of
all-
us will fight.
First of all, Vedantic definition is not to go somewhere.
Yeah, that's right.
And also,
Yeah.
there is nothing to believe in God.
Yes, yes.
It's a reality.
Mm.
It's like a 1 + 1 is 2. You don't have to believe it is 2.
Like he was saying, the tolerance.
Yeah.
Like if
Acceptance is
tolerance is not coming, means like you are missing both spirituality and religious background.
Yeah.
Acceptance is
They
better.
both
Acceptance is a better word. yeah.
acceptance. They both give you power. You know, they both
No.
constant and new.
But, no, you see, people are not able to accept. That is why this acceptance should come with the tolerance and then acceptance and then
Yeah.
respect and all these things.
Yeah.
This is initially we should at least, some people say that no, why other religions exist? Only my religion should exist. Number here.
Because
It
I'm not
can't be like
accepting
that.
others. I'm accepting
Yeah.
mine.
Then we should accept all the religions as
Yes.
same also. You have one question, right?
Really, thank you for wonderful speech, presentation. We were to leave at 5 and you glued us back up to 6. And just say bye.
All right, thank you very much. Well, but obviously we did not just tolerate him. With that comment, I think we accepted his presentation. Very nice. We really enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, and so those